G'day and welcome back to another Facebook Live here on the Max My Profit page. It's so great to be hosting this once again and looking forward to having a chat today with Linda Reed Enover. And Linda has been running an amazing Facebook group on, a business group on Facebook, obviously. We'll talk about that very, very shortly. Before that, I just wanted to let you know that this is a live broadcast, and if you at any point have any questions, feel free to ask them. I will be monitoring the chat box down below, and if you have any questions, feel free to interrupt with a question in the chat box, and I'll do my best to get that across to Linda during the live broadcast. Now, Linda is a publicist and marketing consultant. And she lives and breathes publicity with a passion for connecting everything from people to ideas. Linda is the principal director of ThoughtSpot PR and founder of Media Connections and Business, which is where we're going to get her insights about running Facebook groups and how to get the best out of a Facebook group. Linda's innate can-do attitude, ability to network and think on her feet has positioned her as a leader in the communications and marketing arena that sees her renowned as the marketing go-to girl. Welcome to this Facebook Live, Linda.
Welcome. Thanks for having me, Ben. Hi, everyone.
Hey, my absolute pleasure. Can't wait to get stuck into talking about how people can get the most out of Facebook groups. And who better to talk to than you? I've actually been in your Facebook group since 2015. Did you know that?
Almost a founding member, yes.
Almost a founding member. And I remember those early days.
2015.
So as it's been growing, which is cool, it's great to see it growing. So I'm just getting my chat box up here. G'day, Hayden. I can see Hayden's just joined us.
For those watching the Facebook Live, especially if you're watching it on your phone, click the little share button down the bottom and invite anyone who you think needs to know about Facebook groups today to this session. Because this is one of the times that I don't run this session in a classroom environment. Normally I run this one in a classroom environment. So
that's a fantastic tip. Now, for those of you that don't know or aren't a member of Business, I suggest you find that group after this live and you apply to join the group. It's a closed Facebook group, and I just looked before we went live, and there is 27,263 members in that group, and that's been all organically grown, Linda.
Absolutely. Everything inside business has been an organic group. It's not been a manufactured group or anything like that by through Facebook ads. We've just purely grown by word of mouth. And we're a little bit picky on who we let in.
Yeah, so you said you have about 100 applications waiting to be approved at this point?
100 pending at the moment. So we get through those, but we come in maybe once or twice a day to do applications. But if things are busy within the group, it might take us a couple of days. But if you're looking to join any Facebook group tip number one, if there is questions there, answer them. Show that you want to be part of the community by actually answering the questions, because you're not going to get, like, some admins might let you in, but if it comes down to choosing between you and someone else, if you haven't answered the questions, then they're not going to let you in, and take the time to answer them properly.
Yeah, so important, isn't it? I know when I get asked those questions, sometimes I'm in a rush and I don't expect to be asked big, long questions. I just go, yep, said.
And yep, won't see you get into BBB.
So let's jump straight into it, Linda, because I'd love to get your insights, and I'm sure you've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly over all these years of running such a big group. For somebody who, and I'm remembering our target here is we're talking to business owners, so I really want to focus on how do business owners or business people get the best results out of being in a Facebook group and maybe interacting in a Facebook group to be able to get traction. So how does somebody go about best, I guess, getting traction and building relationships inside of a Facebook group?
Okay. First thing is, Facebook groups are all about community. It's all about face-to-face networking.
Yep.
You are not going to go into a networking group and throw your business cards at people's faces, expect them to catch them and walk out. So you can't do the same in Facebook groups. You can't get in there, go, here's my business, buy my stuff, and expect people to work from you. Because all you're going to be doing inside the networking group is they're going to be sitting there going, that dude just walked in and threw business cards at me. What the hell am I want to work for them for? The same thing happens with Facebook groups. And the thing with the world of Facebook is, it's all about, like every form of social media, and your networking still a social media platform. It's face to face, but it's about getting to know, like, and trust people. But because we're behind keyboards, what I see so often inside BBB and inside lots of groups is a lack of clarity in your Facebook post. So just because you're in Sydney, or you're in Melbourne, or you're wherever, remember that if you're asking for service providers, or you're asking for help, or you're asking for venues, be clear with your location. what business you run and what type of market you're looking for, and also what you do. What do you do? What makes you different if we're looking for things? And explain who your opportunities are with. I see post after post going, I'm looking for an investor, or we've got an investment into this, XYZ, or if you want this, PM me. They're all vague posts. They're all not going to get interaction. And the problem is, from Facebook's point of view, they're triggering the spam algorithm because you're not giving enough detail.
Yeah, yeah. Because how often do you see that? I mean, I hate that, to be honest with you. If I'm in a Facebook group and the first thing someone posts is, here's a link to my Facebook page, buy some
Oh,
stuff off me. Is that something you see happening a lot? Because, I mean, you've got so many
drives me
people
crazy.
joining.
Thankfully, earlier this year, Facebook released a hell of a lot more admin tools for us as admins and that sort of stuff. So there's a couple of things that drive us crazy, and B, aren't within the best practices of Facebook, where you just share the link from your page or your Facebook thing without putting some text into it. Now, it's been a founding guideline from BBB since we founded in 2014 that if you're going to share something to a group, at least show the respect for fellow members in introducing it with some text as to why you share it. So what happens now, though, is thankfully, thanks to having post approval, if someone does that inside BBB, they automatically get put onto post approval. Now, by just sharing it and not adding text, you're also triggering the spam algorithm for Facebook, because you're not showing you're adding valuable content. And when we're talking about Facebook marketing, we need to add valuable content. So just like Ben and I have gone live here today, and I've shared it to BBB, and I've shared it to a couple of my other mastermind groups. I said we're kicking off at 10 or 15 minutes in BBB. In my mastermind group, I said join Ben and I while we go live and change Facebook. But that's because we've got to look at different messages and different things that we're putting out there. And if you don't change up your content, then it's not going to work. Now, the last thing you do is, when you go live in something like this, is then go and share that live to 20 other groups, because sharing that content over and over again once makes Facebook look at it and go, hang on, is this valuable or is it spam? Number two, it appears in the algorithm as Linda or John or Susie shared the live stream to X group, X group, X group, X group, X group. And by the way, guys, if you're a member of one business group, chances are some people are members in multiple groups with you. So they just want to see different content from you. They don't want to see the same crap over and over again.
Yeah. So how does somebody then, I mean, if people are joining, I mean, it's like you talk about the networking events, right? And this is what I find with with networking events, I find that a lot of people are there just looking to get business, right? They want sales. And I'm guessing the same thing is with online Facebook groups, because a business related group is like going to a networking event online.
Online, pretty much.
So how, if I'm a business person wanting to get business out of a group online, and it's not really the most advisable thing to do to just throw my name out there and say buy from me, what do I do to get that engagement? What do I do to get people to know, like, and trust me?
Let's take that back to the face-to-face situation. You're not going to walk in and just, walk up to every person that you walk up into networking group, go buy my stuff. Okay. You are going to put your hand out, have a handshake, maybe have a conversation. What did you do? How did you get here today? You are going to start a conversation. There is no difference to networking when it comes to social media. There is no difference to sharing that information. So you might, in a business group, ask a question about something that you have within your business. Might respond and help people. Oh my gosh, help people on the questions that they possibly have. The best return on investment you can get in marketing is actually helping someone else with an issue and showing that you know your stuff,
Yeah.
because you're already getting a client who is engaged with you and knows that you know your situation and know that you know your information. So you can engage people. You can do stuff like we're doing here. Have a webinar, have the experts come in and have a chat with you around it. You can share your tips, like even if you did nothing else, but write down the top questions that your clients ask you for the next week, the things that are popping up, and then start to write them into a series of tips that you can share within Facebook groups. Some of the members inside BBB do this very well. I'm around for the next hour. If you've got a question on websites, you've got a question on Facebook ads, you've got a question on this, come and ask me. And I used to do that before running my own group in other groups. I used to go, hey, I'm around for the next hour. You got any questions on PR? Feel free to ask me. But now running a group that of our size, I don't get to do that as often as I used to. But, sometimes we're actually, the best time we can spend marketing our business is showing others people that we know our stuff. And that isn't selling what we do. That is literally just helping people.
Yeah, great, some great advice here because I think you're right. If we went to a networking event, you're not going to just run around and throw your business cards at everybody. It's not really acceptable, is it? So you,
Just think about it, guys. You're not walking around with a TV on your head as replacing your head with an ad campaign running consistently.
mm. And I think it's a little bit foreign for some people. Now, if you have just joined us, thank you for joining us here. I'm with Linda Reed, Edinburgh, and Linda is a PR marketing communications expert who runs an online Facebook group with just over 27,000 members called Business, Business, Business. And we're talking about her experiences that she's seen with the people that have joined the group and the best ways to get engagement for you to be able to benefit out of being in these online groups. So if you are enjoying this live, by the way, make sure you hit the thumbs up and share it. If you know anybody in business that would like to learn how to benefit from being in a Facebook group, share this out on your page now for us, and we'll get more people viewing this and learning from having Linda here, which is we once again really thankful you are.
That's great.
So tell me, have you seen instances? One of the things that I've seen, not just in Facebook groups, but before I'm so old that before Facebook there were these things called forums.
Oh, yeah, no, you see that one.
Yeah. But what I would find in those, and I find it in Facebook groups too, is sometimes people will ask a question that's been asked before, and then someone comes up and go, "Oh, not that thread again, not that
I
question
don't
again."
care.
How do you
If you
control it so
answer
people?
that question.
Yeah. How do you control it so people aren't put off asking
But
questions?
the reality of it is, okay, so in BBB we have a guideline. There is no nasty language. If you come back and say not that question, or that was a stupid question, or you've asked it again, the comments are going to be turned off for you for a little while.
Mm-hmm. I see.
I try to put this as politely as I possibly can. The group is a prep classroom. You play as nicely, or a foundation classroom as they want to call it in the education system nowadays. It is a prep classroom. You play nicely with each other. There are no stupid questions.
Yeah.
Everyone has the ability to answer a question, and we don't make fun of someone because they ask for help.
Yeah, I think that's so important.
And that is no different to when I work with teams and employment teams and all of those sorts of things. We all started, and Ben, you and I've been in the industry for long enough now. We all started not knowing stuff.
Mm.
And there are consistently people when I go and talk about Facebook and Facebook marketing that don't know stuff. But why should I judge them, or anyone else judge them, for asking a question? Just help the person out, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
As my grandmother used to say, it doesn't take anything out of your day to help someone else.
Yeah, so true. So very, very true. On that note, by the way, if you do have a question, feel free to put it into the
Ask.
comments box. We're here live. We've got Linda live right now. It's
Yep.
not very often you get to talk to somebody who is running a group with 27,000+ people in it that has also been using it to help people grow their business.
Ben, I've got
So
a few tips that I normally say for people when they first join a Facebook group
yeah, yeah,
that actually really, really help people out. So, guys, when you first join a Facebook group, obviously answer the questions, look at the admin team, understand that the admin team aren't doing anything personally to vendetta against you and your posts. They have a set of guidelines, and 90% of the time, no admin wants to delete a post, no admin wants to ban a member, and no admin wants to turn off comments, because normally it takes more work for us to do any of that than it does to let the group flow. There is going to be guidelines. And they are normally in a pinned post up the very, very top of the group. And if you're looking at running a group, set your guidelines early. Set what what the expectation for the community is and what the group is, and pin them to the top and remind people about your guidelines. Now, in these nowadays, when you have posts removed, there's an opportunity for the admin to tell you why your post has been removed in the guidelines. But if someone removes your post from a group, don't go and argue with the admin first. Go read the guidelines and find out what you did. Chances are it's an innocent mistake on your end, and it just needs to be fixed up. It's nothing huge, and there's no need to come back and have a big conversation. Your admin team of any Facebook group is human. Every member of that group is human. But before you go and post in the group, before you do anything, read the guidelines and watch the group for 24 hours. See if it's a community you actually want to be involved in. You don't have to be in every Facebook group just because someone said that's a good group.
yeah,
I say that to people who don't like the BBB guidelines. That's cool. We're just not the space for you.
yeah,
Absolutely fine. We don't have to be the space for everyone. We have to be the space for the people that we serve, which isn't the word that I want to say, the community that we look after. We have to be that community that we want to be. And we want to make sure that we are in that right space when we're joining a Facebook group. You don't keep going back to a networking group because you hate it. So Facebook groups the same. You don't want to be part of groups and like pages and interact with people who you just don't get along with. It's okay to unlike and leave things.
Mm. Okay, and that's a good tip because I think a lot of people sometimes feel like if their strategy is I've got to be in groups, they'll just go and join as many groups as they can. What is your thought? I mean, we spoke before about posting the same content in multiple
Yep.
groups, and you were saying that's probably not a great thing to do because these people are in multiple groups.
And
Do you
it's going to
think?
trigger the algorithm anyway. So it's going
Yeah,
to trigger the spam algorithm. Facebook are looking for original posts and original content from you. Yes, you can share evergreen stuff, but if it's tip day in Facebook groups, you have more than one tip. I'm sure you have more than one tip. And if it's promotion day, you have more than one way to promote your product or service. And chances are you have more than one product or service to promote. So maybe you could share different products and services within different areas. But make sure that you change it up. And all Facebook are looking for in the algorithm is that you have been human, that you have taken the time in between your posts. Doesn't mean that you can't have pre-prepared them and copied and pasted them in them, but you've engaged. And part of our thing inside BBB is you can't promote unless you've engaged. You can promote once every 7 days. I can't do theme days because half the time there's a moment in time I go, I have no idea what day of the week it is, let alone theme days.
So can you give us an example, maybe, Linda, of somebody who in your group, I mean, you must have some great stories of people that are in the BBB group that have utilised it as a tool to build a
Oh, look,
network and get business from it?
there are members in there that will say to you, BBB is their bread and butter. It is the group where they come in, they help, they provide advice. It is their bread and butter for getting business. They are also the members who follow the guidelines. They may not agree with them, but they follow them because they know that
Yeah.
not following the group guidelines is going to risk their position within the group.
Yes.
There are members out there who have been really, really strong members and then just taken a dislike to something the admin team has done. And it's been a guideline that's always been in place, but they thought they could flex the guidelines and flex all that sort of stuff, and then they're no longer a member. But there are members in there, and I won't name names or say anything like that because it is part of our group guidelines. What happens in the group stays within the group, so can't have that conversation outside of names. But there are groups out there, there are members in there that do really well by educating, by sharing their knowledge and their expertise. And by putting their best foot forward and helping and providing advice and not saying that that's a that's a crap question. They just get in and answer it.
Mm. And do you find that is it people that are providing because I think we've seen these things on Facebook now where you're a conversation starter or you're a
Yeah, put some little badges out there.
So have you seen like a trend? Is it the conversation starters that are getting the best engagement, or is it those that answer other people's conversations? What do you think works best?
Look, I think it's a combination of both. It's not just purely a conversation starter. You can earn the conversation starter badge by stirring the pot, and that doesn't mean that you've actually started a valuable
They
conversation.
don't have a stirring the pot badge.
Be easier for us admins if we could label a few of them that way.
Yeah, absolutely. It's called the ban. You've got the ban button, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly. But it's about creating valuable conversations. So you can create a very vague conversation and earn your conversation starter badge. I think what it comes down to is you're not looking at badges on Facebook. Look at what the person's doing. Look at their profiles. Look at all of those sorts of things. It's about having a look at their profile, having a look at the advice that they're doing, and bear in mind, guys. Remember, any piece of advice you get on a Facebook group is general. It's not written specifically for your situation. You have to do your due diligence on anything. Just the same as if you're a networking group, just the same if John said down the road, hey, you should work with Matt, he's great. You're still going to check Matt out before you actually hire him and that sort of stuff. So make sure that you're checking people out, not just because it was said in a Facebook group that you should work with this person.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And thanks for those of you that have just joined us for the live. I'm here with Linda Reed Enever, and if you've got any questions, feel free to shoot away in the comments. I can see Nicole Clark Baines, thanks. Nicole says, agree, contribute rather than just sit in a group and watch and take. And I think that's so important, isn't it? Be a participant.
Look, it's okay not to join in, to lurk, as they call it. Back from the floor.
Lurkers, yeah.
It's okay to watch. It's okay not to get involved. But I say to people that also comes down to the admin's point of view. In BBB, we have a yay thread. In business, we have the yay thread once a week. It's not hard to get involved. surely there's got to be something, I made it to my desk without stubbing my toe. That's a yay moment.
Mhm.
I got through the week. They are
Yeah.
yay moments in business. And I say this to people, not every yay moment doesn't have to be huge. A
Yep.
yay moment is I survived and I didn't kill anyone along the way.
Yeah, and that is an easy thing to post. I think, and it can be overwhelming for people too. I think so. And now, before we hit the Let's Go Live button, we were
Yep.
talking a bit about some of the things that can happen, and you mentioned to me a thing about Facebook jail. Uh,
Yep.
can you
Facebook
sort of,
jail.
yeah? So for people that are contributing and participating in groups, that may not be aware that Facebook jail exists, can you just talk about what that is?
Okay, Facebook jail is one of those things if your Facebook profile has been restricted, and Facebook call it restrictions. They will stop you from posting in Facebook groups. They might stop you from commenting on groups as
Mm.
well. They might stop you from posting to your own Facebook page. They might stop you from posting to your personal profile. And it all comes down to somewhere along the line, you've breached the terms of service. And somewhere along the line, Facebook have said, time to hang back. Okay, so Facebook have a rather large terms of service document. It's not the easiest thing, but there are a couple of key things that you need to understand. And Facebook, especially since the F8 conference, have said they want valuable conversations. They want a conversation and engagement and information being shared on a regular basis that is of value to their network. Now, the people have said to me, "Oh, links decrease the reach. Links don't decrease the reach. Crap content decreases the reach."
Mm.
So if you've written a really good article on a blog post and you share it and people click on it, that's still engagement. That's still engagement from Facebook's point of view. And they're going, yeah, that's all good. But if you create crap content that gets crickets, then that is not working. That's not working for you. So you are looking at being those sorts of things. So when you are looking at sharing the same stuff over and over again, that's where the Facebook jail can come in. If you share stuff without putting text on it, that's where you can come in. If you tag everyone in a, hey, this is my latest event post, and you tag everyone in your Facebook list, and we've all had someone who does that to us, that tags us in that post, and you go, no, go away. Apart from the fact that everyone else is sitting there going, go away. It's also something where Facebook's going, okay, well, maybe they're doing this a little bit too much. If you invite everyone on your friends list to every event that you run, that's going to trigger the spam algorithm. So it's about making sure that every post and every comment that you have has value.
Yeah,
Doesn't
so
mean you can't use third-party apps, doesn't mean you can't program, but it means it's got to be valuable content.
yeah, keep it relevant. So what if this, because I have had people that I know say to me, "Oh, I can't seem to comment or post anything anymore." It's not
Trigger the
clear
algorithm.
sometimes they're in this Facebook jail, is it? And
No.
yeah, so if that's happened to you, that's probably why.
Look at the activity that you've been doing. Somewhere along the line, you have done something to upset the Facebook gods.
Yes, that can happen. Now I know you can only really talk about the guidelines of your group, but
Yep.
what I mean, yeah, I mean, some groups have pretty strict guidelines, some are much looser, and I guess you've got to decide what group you want to participate in. But
Yep.
why do you feel that the guidelines, or how has that helped your group?
Oh, guidelines are cool, have been really, really key inside us knowing, but also giving my team a very clear guideline of, yep, this is what we accept, this is what we don't accept, and putting it out there to our members from the very, very start of this is what we do. And if you don't
Mm.
like it, cool, that's fine. What we have noticed and what we are sitting here going, we're not the admin team panicking with the changes of F8 and the accountability of what's being said in the group, and that you can't do nasty language, you can't do hate speech, you can't do all of that sort of stuff, because it's been in our guidelines since we founded the group. So, we're talking about part of the reason we don't allow people to go live in the group is it's really hard for us to monitor a live stream. But if you go live on your Facebook page and share it to the group, then you're still responsible for the content that you put out on your Facebook page. And yes, if it breaches our guidelines, we can get in there and take it down, but we can't take down a live stream from the group really, really quickly and easily. So there was legislation that was released, and it's been a legislation. There was a court judgment in New South Wales saying that a page was responsible for comments made. It's not it's changed the way people are looking at it, but Facebook have also said that group admins are going to become more responsible for the content that is shared within their group. So if you do not have guidelines covering what you can and can't say, if you're not using the keyword feature, if you're not using all of those filters, then you're going to find this process a lot harder. You're going to find the process of cleaning up a group that runs people down or has hate speech in it, or all of those sorts of things is only going to be hard. And look, I know of a local group here in town that is called Have Your Say, and it's what I would call a group I wouldn't stay in, because it's a toxic space. It's about venting and all of those sorts of things. And in time, I think they're the types of groups that Facebook is going to look at seriously and go, is it actually adding value to the community that we want? And guys, you can say what you like about Facebook, but the reality of it is we have a lovely free forum to promote our businesses on that we didn't have years ago. And just like our businesses, they have a terms of service that we need to follow. And the same people that tend to get really, really annoyed about Facebook and their terms of service are the same people that get really annoyed if their clients breach their terms of service. So hang on, we've got to look at this from point of view of going, well, business to business. We've got to play within their terms of service just the same as we want our clients to play with us.
Yeah, so important. So do you get many people though that join and then obviously haven't read the guidelines or just aren't willing
absolutely.
to? Yeah.
Any BBB member watching this, you do not private message another member without permission first.
Oh, okay.
That
sounds pretty strict.
But it comes down to showing respect for someone else's inbox.
Yes, yeah. And I think that's so important. I mean, when you've got 27,500 members as well, like it's got to be difficult.
The other way you trigger the spam algorithm is if you start private messaging everyone, buy my stuff crap.
Yeah.
Then you're going to not be able to message anyone, and that includes your family and friends.
Yeah.
They will remove Messenger from you.
And it doesn't work either. I mean, that's the thing I think people have got to realise is it doesn't work. So would you say that it's a slow burn process? I think, people join and it's like you said, walk into the networking group and throw your business cards in everybody's face and hope to get sales. Or do you walk in and you just build relationships over a 12-month period? I'm guessing it's a longer burn.
It's not really. It doesn't have to be a longer burn.
Yeah.
You don't have to, like all networking, if you provide value, it doesn't have to be a longer burn cycle, but all marketing, all sales take time. It is rarely the first contact you have with a client that converts. It is normally, best case scenario, three contacts and you convert. But normally, statistically, especially with social media, it's 7 to 8 contacts with a brand when they're ready to buy before they'll buy.
Yeah, so important. So let's. I mean, we're nearly running out of time. Let's just quickly change gears.
Yeah, go for it.
And talk a bit about people that maybe have got a Facebook group or are thinking about starting one, because to get, I mean, you're very humble about it, right? But 27,500 members organically.
Best in wine if you're going to run a group.
Yeah, but can you talk to us a bit about the journey of why you would start a group and then how to build a group, or how you've gone about building the group?
Yeah. Okay. So look, guys, I do teach this. This is what I teach on a regular basis now, is about running a Facebook group and communities. The thing about creating a Facebook group is, if you are time poor, this is not for you. Okay. It is not a get rich quick scheme. It is not a massive marketing scheme. And it's not something, if you don't like people, don't do it. If you're not like me and go, yeah, I'm happy to have a chat with you about this and see what's going on, and you don't get excited about other people doing good stuff, then Facebook groups aren't for you. And that's really, really clear and really honest straight from the start. Your group is going to take time. Now, BBB group experiences periods of rapid growth where word of mouth is going in our favor. But the reason it experiences those periods of massive growth is because we do things like skills webinars. We are there. At least one of the admin team is there on a daily basis. It's not something you can set and forget, oh yeah, Facebook group, it's running there by itself. It doesn't run there by itself. It needs you to lead it. It needs your messages in there. I used to say to people, before keyword alerts came out into Facebook in April, we had a search page, it would have been about this long, of words that we knew triggered conversations outside of the guidelines. Every swear word.
Yeah.
The word stupid. We still have a watch list of members who we know trigger conversations. Friday nights, Saturday nights, sport nights, any nights that people have had a couple of drinks, you need to have an admin around, because they are the nights that things will go out of control. Um, they're the nights that a couple of people have got, social media is awesome for doing stupid shit. You're sitting there with your phone in your hand after a couple of drinks, and you'll type something that you would never ever say to someone's face.
Yeah, absolutely.
But once it's out there, you cannot take it back. So I keep saying to people, if you're going out drinking, take a phone that doesn't have Facebook on it,
Mm.
or uninstall Facebook and block yourself. There should
Then
be
you
like
can't brag about where you're out drinking.
there should be this drunk filter that do you want to, you really have mixed up some letters here. Do you really want to post?
Yeah.
If someone can create that app, I think it would make most Facebook admins a really good term. You've got to create engagement in your group. You can't create a group. And I've seen lots of people saying, "Oh, I'm getting no engagement on my Facebook page. I'm going to create a group." That's not what Facebook are wanting groups for. So their community engagement inside F8 was very clear. They wanted groups to create community engagement. If you're just creating a group to sell people your products, it's not going to get fed up in the algorithm any more than your page was going to get fed up in the algorithm anyway. They want you to post regularly, share tips, educate your market. The reason I am known as a PR and marketing go-to girl is because I've got that many tips out there, that many handouts, that many ebooks that answer the questions that my market want to know before they come to me. And that's all I needed to do was record those videos and do those little tips and put that information together to help me be able to get out there. But that's that content that keeps BBB going. Post questions, ask people stuff to do things, create polls in your group, and this has got to be the biggest thing, you need to develop a thick skin. Because people on the end of being admin when you admin a Facebook group forget that there is a human on the other end of the receiving end of the message, or they don't care. And sometimes it is they just don't care and they're just going to send abuse regardless. So you need to develop a bit of a thick skin and you need to be able to walk away. And when you are emotional, you need to have a backup person to admin with you. Because there's occasionally threads that I go, I just can't. No, my response to that is going to be so wrong. Someone else look at it. But that's life and that's business, and you know that you're going to react. There's going to be things that will trigger you as a business owner. So you have someone else that can get in there and do those sorts of things. But when you set up your group, the number one tip I can give any group owner is, what is a group for? What purpose does it serve? And what are you prepared to expect? And what type of community do you want to make? And do you have the time to run the group?
Yeah. I think that's the thing I think a lot of people probably underestimate is the time and effort you got to put into running a group. And that doesn't get any easier as it grows, I can imagine.
No, it doesn't. It gets bigger as it grows.
All right, so we've got a couple of comments here. Millie Burke says, I love the BBB group for the support services people offer to each other and love helpful feedback people provide to members' questions. So that's great. Thanks for that, Millie.
Thanks, Millie.
And Amanda's asked a question, what percentage approximately of people are in the market ready to buy now compared to buying in the next 6 to 12 months? Probably a question for in the BBB group.
But that also, Amanda, relates to what is your business, what is your market, and what client are you looking at? Because that doesn't, the percentage varies to, if, talking about buying a $1 million home, that's going to vary to the person who's going to buy a course tomorrow. So it varies on about asking a clear question. If you take nothing else out of today, forget what you know about your question. Make it clear. I am not in your head, and the person reading your question to respond to it is not in your head. We don't know what your business is, and nor should we have to go and check out your Facebook profile to find out what your business is. You need to ask a clear question, because if you were going to that lawyer, that doctor, that expert, that marketing consultant, if you were paying me $295 for a brainstorming session, you're going to ask me a very bloody clear question. Make sure you ask the same thing. You ask a very, very clear question to that person. And respect the time of the people that you're asking for. And by all means, with everyone else that asks questions in Facebook groups, it drives me nuts to see someone ask for help and then be rude when they get it. Just because it's not the help that you want, there's no need to be rude to the person who took time out of their day to help you.
And that's not just in Facebook groups, that's anywhere. I'm just thinking this applies to life, people. If you ask for help and you don't get the help you wanted.
Oh, yeah, it drives me crazy. And I see it happen as an admin. I'm like, I come in and I say on threads, our members have taken the time to help you. If you don't like the help, that is fine. Let us close the thread.
Yeah. Don't be rude about it. All right. Well, we're out of time, Linda. I can't thank you enough. Oh, yeah. Very quick, isn't it? I can't thank you enough for coming and joining us live today. And I think, it's very humble of you. I mean, I think you've built an amazing community online, and you've done really well. And my hat's off to you. Well done.
Thank you very much. Thanks, guys, for joining us. And feel free, come and ask questions in the group or ask questions on my Facebook page, and we'll put some messages, or even here in replay.
Yeah, there you go. So in the replay and below, if you've got any questions, keep adding them to the comments below this video, and I'm sure Linda will monitor them as will we.
Yeah.
We'll make sure we monitor them as well. And thanks again for joining us live here on the Max My Profit page for this Facebook Live, as we keep bringing you the experts to help you grow your business and build the business that you imagined. Thanks again, Linda. Really appreciate it. Make sure you head over to the BBB page and apply to join, answer the questions, and read the guidelines.
Really, the question is, you are going to move yourself up the list to getting approved.
There you go. And do not throw your business card in everyone's face when you first get in there.
I dare you to go to a networking event now, Ben, and just see if you can throw some cards in people's faces.
I'm going to give that a crack. All right. Well, thanks again, Linda. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Until next time, take care.